The night is ours.
Everyone has heard strange sounds at night and ignored them,
The night
blaming
is
the wind,
ours.
a rat, or a stray cat. That's what we did too, until one night proved us wrong. Not everyone is who they seem. Be careful who you bring into your home, because some people carry dark secrets. One wrong decision can turn a place of comfort into fear. This Nigerian story is about secrets, kindness, dark magic, and one moment that changed everything. If you found this story interesting and want it to continue, please subscribe to the channel
night
so you
is
don't miss
ours.
what happens next.
Did you hear that?
Jesus, why is the cat standing like a person? That was the exact thought that froze Chief Agada's wife in the middle of the hallway. She did not scream, she could not move. Her heart slammed so hard against her chest that she thought it would wake the whole house. The moonlight poured through the small window by the staircase, pale and quiet. The house was silent, too silent. No generator sound, no children coughing, no footsteps. And there, on the cold, tiled floor, was the cat. It was black and thin, its fur shining faintly in the moonlight. But that was not what made fear grip her bones. The cat was standing on its two back legs. Upright, still, like a human being. Its eyes were not the normal eyes of an animal. They were calm, aware. Watching her, Chief Agada's wife felt her knees weaken. "This is not a cat," her mind screamed. "This is not a cat." The cat slowly turned its head, as if it knew it had been seen. Then, before she could shout or pray or faint, the cat took one step forward, and the light flickered. Earlier that same day, the Agada family was known across the community. Chief Agada was not just rich, he was powerful. A man people greeted with respect and fear mixed together. He owned lands, businesses, and had connections that reached far beyond the town. But what people whispered about most was not his money. It was his spiritual strength. Some said he had been protected since birth. Others claimed he had survived attacks that would have killed ordinary men. Whatever the truth was, one thing was certain. Chief Agada was not a man you crossed easily. Yet inside his large compound, behind the tall gate and armed security, his home was peaceful. His wife, Mama Nkiru, was gentle and kind. She believed strongly in love, prayer, and treating people well. Their children, three of them, were bright, playful, and full of
We
laughter.
certainly do.
And
So
then
much
there was
joy.
Ada.
Couldn't agree more.
Ada had arrived months earlier. She was quiet. She was respectful, always bowing her head slightly when spoken to. She spoke softly and worked hard. She woke before everyone else and slept after everyone else. She washed clothes, cooked meals, cleaned the house, and cared deeply for the children. When Mama Nkiru first met her, she felt pity. "She looks too thin," Mama Nkiru had said. "Life has not been kind to this girl." Ada had smiled and said nothing. No one knew that Ada did not come from poverty. No one knew she came from the Marin Kingdom, a kingdom hidden from human eyes, a place of dark power, ancient rules, and deadly loyalty. And Ada had not come to serve, she had come to destroy. Every night when the lights went out and the Agada family slept, Ada would sit on the edge of her small mattress and close her eyes. She would whisper words that were not human words. And her body would begin to shake, bones would shift, skin would tighten, breath would change, and Ada would become a cat, a creature small enough to move unnoticed, silent enough to slip past guards, free enough to escape the compound. As a cat, she would disappear into the night and return to the Marin Kingdom, where elders waited for her reports. "Is the family weakening?" they would ask. "Yes," Ada would reply. "Is fear growing in the house?" "Yes." "Is death close?" "Very close." Her mission was clear: bring down Chief Agada by destroying what he loved most, his family. Slowly, carefully, Ada began her work. It started small. The youngest child fell sick, fever that refused to go away. Then the second child began having nightmares, screaming in the middle of the night about shadows and cats with human eyes. Our Mama Nkiru started feeling tired all the time, weak, forgetful. Even the house itself felt different. At night, strange sounds echoed through the halls, scratching, soft footsteps, a low cry that sounded like an animal, but not quite. "It's just a cat," the security men said. "Yes," Mama Nkiru agreed, "probably a stray." Ada would lower her eyes and say nothing, but each night she moved closer to completing her mission. Something unexpected began to happen. Mama Nkiru started treating Ada like her own daughter. She bought her new clothes. She spoke to her gently. She prayed with her. She praised her hard work. The children loved Ada. "Ada, sleep beside me," the youngest would beg. "Ada, tell us a story," the others would say. Ada felt something twist inside her chest. This was not part of the mission. She was not supposed to feel guilt. She was not supposed to care. But every smile, every kind word, every moment of trust made her heart heavier. Still, the elders of the Marin Kingdom demanded results. You must finish it, they warned her. One final night. Ada nodded. She would not fail. That night, the house was quiet. Too quiet. Ada stood beside the children's beds, holding something dark in her palm, a sickness strong enough to stop their breathing before morning. Her hands trembled. Just do it, she told herself. This is what you were sent to do. She lifted her hand. Mama and Kiru had woken up to use the toilet. That was all. If she had slept for just one more minute. If she had ignored the sound, but she didn't. She stepped into the hallway and saw the cat, standing like a human, watching her.
No, stay back!
The truth hit her like lightning. Their maid, their Ada, was not human at all. The cat took another step forward. Mama and Kiru opened her mouth to scream, and the lights went out completely. Darkness swallowed the house. Darkness did not fall gently. It crashed. The bulbs blinked once, twice, and died. The soft glow that had filled the hallway vanished, leaving Mama and Kiru standing alone in thick black silence. Her breath caught in her throat. Ada, she whispered without thinking. No answer, only the sound of her own heartbeat loud in her ears. She stood still, afraid that if she moved, whatever had been standing there moments ago would move too. The smell of cold air brushed past her skin. The night felt awake. Then, scratch, not loud, just enough, right behind her. Mama and Kiru spun around. Nothing. But she felt it. The same way you feel eyes on your back, even when you cannot see them. She pressed her back against the wall and slid down slowly until she was sitting on the cold floor. Her hands shook as she began to pray under her breath. God of mercy, Jesus, cover me, Holy Spirit, please. Her voice was barely louder than a breath. Somewhere inside the house, a child coughed. That small sound snapped her back to herself. My children. Fear turned into fire. Mama Nkiru forced herself up and began moving toward the children's room, one careful step at a time. The hallway felt longer than it ever had. Each step echoed too loudly. She reached the door. It was open. Her heart stopped. The children's room was dark, but the moonlight crept in through the window, painting pale shapes on the floor. She stepped inside. Ada, she called again, her voice shaking now. Ada, are you here? Still nothing. She moved closer to the beds. All three children were lying still, too still. Mama Nkiru rushed forward. Chibuzo, she cried softly, touching the youngest. His skin was cold with sweat. His breathing was shallow. Fear wrapped around her throat. She touched the others. Same thing. Weak breaths. Faces tight as if trapped in bad dreams. No. No, no, no. She turned sharply and saw the shadow move. It slid along the wall near the wardrobe. Smooth. Quiet. Wrong. Mama Nkiru screamed. Not loud enough to wake the whole house, but loud enough to shake whatever courage Ada had left. Ada was crouched near the window, her body half changed. Her hands were still human, but her fingers had stretched longer than normal. Her eyes glowed faintly in the dark. And she had not meant to be seen. Everything had gone wrong. The Marin elders had warned her. Humans are weak. Kindness is a lie. But Mama Nkiru's scream pierced her heart. She froze. This was the moment. Finish it, or be destroyed. Ada turned slowly. Mama Nkiru saw her clearly now. Not a cat, not fully human, something in between. Her maid's face stared back at her, twisted with fear, guilt, and something that looked dangerously close to tears. Ada, Mama Nkiru whispered, her voice breaking. What are you? Ada opened her mouth, and the house shook. Chief Agada sat up suddenly in bed. His eyes snapped open, sharp and alert. He had felt it. A shift, a disturbance deep in his bones, the kind that only came when something dark crossed into sacred ground. He swung his legs off the bed and stood. The air felt heavy, thick like before a storm. Then he heard his wife scream. That was all it took. Chief Agada moved fast. The walls seemed to breathe. Mama Nkiru crawled backward, shielding her children with her body. Please, she cried, whatever you are, please don't hurt my children. Ada shook her head. I didn't want it to be like this, she said. Her voice was no longer soft and human. It echoed slightly, like it came from somewhere far away. Mama Nkiru stared at her. You can talk, she whispered. Conveniently can't use broken English. Ensure, simple. Let's continue. Ada nodded slowly. Yes. Tears rolled down her cheeks, glowing faintly in the dark. I was sent here, Ada said. I was sent to destroy this house. Mama Nkiru's breath caught. Why? She asked. What did we do to you? Ada swallowed. Nothing, she said. Oh, and that is the problem. She looked at the children. You were not supposed to be kind. The words cut deeper than any knife. Mama Nkiru shook her head. Then stop, she begged. If there is still good in you, stop. Ada closed her eyes. For a moment it seemed like she might. Then a sharp, invisible force slammed her against the wall. She cried out in pain. No! A deep voice thundered, not human, not present, yet everywhere at once. Finish it. The Marin elders. They had come. Ada screamed, clutching her head. Images flooded her mind. Fire, blood, punishment. Disobey and you die. She looked at the children again, at Mama Nkiru's shaking hands, at the love she had been shown. Her body shook. I can't, she whispered. The force tightened. Her breath became ragged. Then you will pay, the voice hissed. Ada screamed again and changed, fully. Her body twisted, bones snapping and reshaping. Fur spread across her skin. Her scream turned into a sharp animal cry. In seconds, the maid was gone. A large black cat stood in her place, eyes glowing bright like fire. Mama Nkiru covered her face, sobbing. The door burst open. Chief Agada stood there, tall and solid, his presence filling the room. The moment his eyes landed on the cat, the air changed. The cat hissed. Chief Agada stepped forward. So, he said calmly, his voice steady, this is what has been hiding in my house. The cat crouched low, ready to attack. Mama Nkiru cried out, don't touch it. Chief Agada raised his hand.
Escape this.
The cat froze.
Leave me
Not by
alone!
fear, by power. Chief Agada's eyes darkened. You are not the first spirit sent against me, he said. Ease and you will not be the last. The cat trembled. For the first time, Ada felt fear. Real fear. Chief Agada moved closer. Return to your true form, he commanded. The cat shook violently. Slowly, painfully, Ada transformed back into human shape, collapsing to the floor, weak and shaking. She looked up at him, tears streaming. I failed, she whispered. Chief Agada looked at her without pity or anger. Not yet, he said. Ada's eyes widened. What do you mean? She asked. Before he could answer, the children all gasped at once. Their bodies jerked. The room grew ice cold. A dark wind swept through the room, slamming the windows shut. The Marin elders had made their move. Ada screamed. They are coming for the children, Mama Nkiru cried out and pulled her children closer. Chief Agada clenched his fists. More than the lights came back on, and every mirror in the room cracked at the same time. The lights came back on suddenly, bright, too bright. For a second, everyone just stood there, blinking, trying to understand what was happening. The cracked mirrors reflected broken images of fear, Mama Nkiru holding the children, Ada curled on the floor shaking, and Chief Agada standing still like a mountain. Then the cold returned. Not the normal cold of night. This one felt alive. The air pressed against their skin. The curtains lifted, even though the windows were shut. The children began to cry, weak, tired cries that cut straight into Mama Nkiru's heart. They are here, Ada whispered, her teeth chattering. The Marin elders. They have crossed over. Chief Agada did not panic. Instead, he closed his eyes. When he opened them again, something had changed. The room felt smaller. He felt bigger. Stay behind me, he told his wife calmly. Mama Nkiru obeyed at once, pulling the children close, whispering prayers into their hair. Ada struggled to sit up. They will not come like humans, she said quickly. They will come as shadows first. Fear feeds them. As if her words had called them, the shadows on the wall began to move. They stretched. They twisted. They pulled themselves away from the wall and stood upright. 3 dark shapes formed in the room. No faces, no bodies, just tall, moving darkness. The temperature dropped sharply. One of the shadows spoke. Ada of Marin, it hissed. You have betrayed us. Ada shook her head violently. I did not betray you, she cried. I could not finish it. The shadow turned toward the children. Then we will, Mama Nkiru screamed. Before the shadow could move, Chief Agada stepped forward and slammed his foot on the floor. The ground shook. A deep sound filled the room, like a drum beating once. The shadows stopped. You will not touch my children, Chief Agada said, his voice low but powerful. Not in this house. The shadows laughed. A human thinks he can command us. Chief Agada did not answer with words. He raised his hand. Symbols burned into the air, bright golden signs that glowed like fire. The walls trembled as the symbols formed a circle around the family. Mama Nkiru gasped. She had known her husband was spiritually strong, but not like this. Ada stared in shock. You carry ancient protection, she whispered. That is why they fear you. The shadows recoiled slightly, hissing like snakes. But they did not leave. You cannot protect them forever, one shadow said. Ada belongs to us, and this house has already been marked. The shadows stretched toward Ada. She screamed as an invisible force pulled at her body. No, Mama and Kiru cried, reaching out. Ada's face twisted in pain. I'm sorry, she cried. I never wanted to hurt you. I never wanted to hurt the children. The shadows pulled harder. Chief Agada turned sharply. You will not take her, he said. The shadows laughed again. She is ours by blood and oath. Chief Agada's eyes hardened. Then I will break the oath. Ada stared at him in disbelief. You can't, she said weakly. If you challenge them directly, they will destroy you. Chief Agada looked at her. Then tell me, he said, how to end this. Ada hesitated. The shadows screamed in anger. Do not speak, they thundered, but Ada had already decided. There is a ritual, she said quickly. A final one. It can free me and protect the children, but it must be done before sunrise. Maman and Kiru's heart pounded. What kind of ritual? She asked. Ada swallowed. One that will bring the Marin kingdom fully into this house. The room went silent. Even the shadows stopped moving. Chief Agada stared at her. You are asking me to invite your enemies into my home, he said. Yes, Ada whispered, because that is the only way to end it forever. The shadows shrieked in rage. You will doom them all. Chief Agada did not look away. How long do we have? He asked. Ada looked toward the window. The moon is already falling, she said. We have less than 3 hours. Mama and Kiru looked down at her children, weak, pale. I breathing slowly. She lifted her head. Do it, she said firmly. Whatever it takes, save my children. Chief Agada nodded once. Then we begin, he said. As soon as he spoke, the house groaned. Cracks spread across the ceiling like spiderwebs. The floor shook again. The shadows screamed, not in anger now, but in warning. You have made a choice, they said together, and choices have prices. Suddenly, one of the children gasped sharply. Mama and Kiru cried out. Blood trickled slowly from the child's nose. Ada screamed. They are taking payment already. Chief Agada clenched his fists. Outside, thunder rolled, even though the sky was clear. And somewhere deep in the dark, something ancient began to wake. The blood on the child's nose looked too bright, too real. Mama and Kiru wiped it quickly with the edge of her wrapper, her hands shaking. No, 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 she whispered. Please, God, not my children. The shadows laughed softly, a cruel, dry sound. You see, one of them said, the price has already begun. Ada crawled forward on her knees, her strength almost gone. This is my fault, she cried. Please, stop hurting them. Take me instead. The shadows turned to her. You belong to us already, they said. Pain is the lesson. Chief Agada stepped between the shadows and his family. Enough, he said. The air vibrated with his voice. He placed one hand on the floor and one hand on his chest. His lips moved, speaking words Mama and Kiru had never heard before. Old words, heavy words. The symbols in the air burned brighter, pushing the shadows back. For the first time, the shadows screamed in pain. You cannot hold us forever, they hissed. I do not need forever, Chief Agada replied. I only need until dawn. As the shadows pulled back to the corners of the room, Ada began to speak, fast, broken, afraid. They chose me because I was young, she said, because I could change, because I could enter human homes without raising fear. Mama and Kiru listened, tears running down her face. I never knew love, Ada continued. In Marin, love is weakness, obedience is life. She looked at Mama and Kiru. But you called me daughter, her voice broke. That word almost destroyed me. Mama and Kiru reached out, despite everything, and held Ada's hand. Then let it save you, she said softly. Ada sobbed. Chief Agada moved quickly. He instructed Mama and Kiru to place salt at every corner of the children's room. He drew a circle on the floor using white chalk mixed with oil. He placed a bowl of water in the center and dropped something small and dark into it. The water began to ripple. Outside, the wind howled. The shadows pressed harder against the glowing symbols, trying to break through. The ritual will expose us, they warned. If you finish it, there will be no turning back. Chief Agada did not respond. Instead, he looked at Ada. When the time comes, he said, you must choose. Ada stared at him. Choose what? She asked. Who you belong to. Her chest tightened. Suddenly, the children sat up at the same time. Mama and Kiru screamed. Their eyes were open, but they were not seeing the room. They were seeing something else. Mommy, one of them whispered. There is a big black place. Another child spoke, voice flat and calm. A woman is calling us. Ada screamed. That is the Queen of Marin. The shadows froze. She has come herself. The room shook violently. The walls cracked deeper. The bowl of water in the center of the circle turned black.
Please!
A voice filled the room, cold, smooth, and powerful. Ada, it said, come home. Ada screamed and covered her ears. No, she cried. Your mission failed, the voice continued. Return, and your punishment will be gentle. Chief Agada clenched his teeth. "You will not take her," he said. The voice laughed. "Then I will take the children." Mama Nkiru collapsed to her knees. "Please," she begged. "Please, I will do anything." The voice paused, then spoke slowly. "Give me Ada." The room went silent. All eyes turned to Ada. Her heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear her own thoughts. If she went back, the children would live. And if she stayed, they might die. Tears streamed down her face. "I never wanted to be loved," she whispered. "But now that I am, I don't know how to leave." She looked at Mama Nkiru, then at the children, then at Chief Agada, and she made her decision. She stepped forward, and the circle on the floor shattered. The moment Ada stepped forward, the chalk circle exploded into white dust. The symbols in the air flickered violently, like candles about to go out. Mama Nkiru screamed, "Ada, stop!" But it was too late. The bowl at the center of the room shattered, and black smoke poured out, thick and heavy, filling the air. The temperature dropped so fast that Mama Nkiru's teeth began to chatter. The children cried out together, "Ada, don't go!" Their voices pierced her heart. Ada froze mid-step. Her body shook. For the first time since she had arrived at the Agada house, she was not being controlled by orders, fear, or magic. She was choosing. The voice of the Queen of Marin returned, louder now, closer. "Ada," the voice said calmly, "you belong to us. Step into the smoke." The black smoke began to shape itself, forming a tall figure with glowing eyes. The presence was overwhelming. Even Chief Agada felt the pressure push against his chest. Mama Nkiru crawled toward Ada and grabbed her wrapper. "Please," she cried, "if you go, you will never be free." Ada looked down at her. "I know," she whispered. Then she looked at the children. They were crying, weak but awake, reaching out to her. Something inside Ada cracked open. "No," she said suddenly. The word was small, but it shook the room. The smoke paused. "But what did you say?" the Queen asked, her voice sharp. Ada straightened her back. "I said no," she repeated louder now. "I will not come back." The smoke trembled. "You dare defy your blood?" the Queen thundered. Ada nodded, tears falling freely. "Yes," she said, "because these people showed me something you never did." She turned to Mama Nkiru. "You showed me kindness without asking for anything back." She looked at the children. "You trusted me, even when I didn't deserve it." Then she faced the smoke again. "If punishment must come," she said, her voice shaking but firm, "let it come to me alone." The room shook violently. The smoke surged forward, wrapping around Ada like dark chains. She screamed as pain shot through her body. Mama Nkiru cried out and tried to pull her free, but Chief Agada stopped her gently. "I do not cross the line," he said. "This part is Ada's fight." Ada fell to her knees. Her skin burned, her breath came in sharp gasps. The Queen's voice filled the room with rage. "You will be erased," she said. "Your name, your form, your memory, gone." The children screamed. "No!" one of them cried. "Take me instead." That single sentence changed everything. The smoke hesitated. The Queen was silent. Chief Agada's eyes widened. "Did you hear that?" he said quietly. The smoke pulled back slightly. The Queen spoke again, slower now. "A human child offers itself?" "Yes," Chief Agada replied, "out of love, the one thing you do not understand." The air vibrated. The shadows on the walls shrank. Ada lifted her head weakly. "Please," she whispered, "let them go." The Queen was quiet for a long moment. Then she spoke, her voice cold but thoughtful. "Very well," she said. "If love is what you choose, then love will be tested." The smoke suddenly rushed upward and vanished into the ceiling. The room fell silent, too silent. Ada collapsed onto the floor. Mama Nkiru rushed to her side. "Ada!" she cried. Ada's breathing was shallow. Her skin felt cold. "She's dying," Mama Nkiru sobbed. Chief Agada knelt beside them, his face tight with concern. "No," he said. "Not yet." As the first hint of dawnlight touched the window, the Queen's voice echoed faintly one last time. "This is not over," she warned. "The bond has been broken, but the debt remains." The air warmed slightly. The children's breathing became steady again. Mama Nkiru looked up, tears streaming. "They're alive," she whispered. "They're alive." Chief Agada nodded slowly. "Yes," he said, "but the battle is not finished." He looked down at Ada, unconscious in Mama Nkiru's arms. "She has chosen the human world," he continued. "Now the consequences will follow her here." Outside, the first birds began to sing. Morning was coming, but peace had not arrived yet. Ada's eyes fluttered once, then opened, and when she spoke, her voice was not entirely her own. "They are watching," she whispered. "If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more powerful stories like this. Where are you watching from today? Tell us your city and country in the comments. Most importantly, what lesson did this story teach you? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them below.